and I don't even believe I'm going to say this. The government should begin to regulate pastors.
I was gonna come to it. Okay, you go.
They should begin to regulate.
You think churches should be regulated?
They should be regulated
and possibly taxed?
Yes, churches should be regulated. Here's why I say churches. Some people look at their pastor as their God, the God they can see.
All right. Good day, folks. Good day, all the lovers of O Power TV. Today, I'm excited to have here one of prominent Africans rising up. You never know the future. His name is MC OMO. He's Nigerian. And what state are you from?
I'm from Osun State originally.
Osun State.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. You know, my sister was born in Nigeria.
No kidding.
Yeah, in Lagos.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I lived in Lagos all my life.
Yeah,
I actually grew up in Lagos.
Lagos used to be the biggest thing.
Oh yeah, it
back
is.
in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys, Ghana must go. We will talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Ghana must go. All right, good. So this is O Power TV. My name is Ora Sarkodie, and I'm here with my brother MC Omo. We're here on this program, The African Perspective. Here we're going to talk about Africans as Africans. You're going to hear stuff from Africans that is not being made up or written by anybody who's non-African. All right, we want to talk about ourselves, talk about, you know, we will delve in a little bit into Black Lives Matter, what it means for us, and we will try to talk about certain things that we can do as Africans in the diaspora. Like I keep saying, we know it got to some point that when we first came here, when you saw a black person walking down the street, it could be like some Caribbean or some African American. But now, if you see a black person, it's most likely a son of an African immigrant. So the story of African Americans has now turned into the story of Africans in America. We are part of the cultural fabric, the racial fabric now. So we need to start talking about ourselves, see what we can do. Welcome, my brother.
Absolutely.
Thanks
for having me.
Okay, so this is O Power TV, and to start with, if you see these beads that I'm wearing, is God's gifted jewelry. My sister,
I might need one of those.
Oh yeah,
by the end of the
yeah, she does a very great job. You know, she does a very great job. You're gonna see her number, you know, at the bottom of the screen. You know, and they are very cheap. And the good thing is, she's a spirit-filled Christian. You know, so most of the time, you know, you see how some people have some culture like, oh my goodness,
yeah. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
so
it's beautiful.
Yeah, so you know, beautiful. She does it herself.
Wow.
You know, which makes it awesome. And secondly, our sister Christiane Champon, she is a health like specialist. If you really want to lose weight, look at the sign on the like at the bottom. We have proven results. All right, people who've attested to it. You're gonna see the pictures being flown around. You know, so our sister, Christiane Champon, she's a health coach, and she does a great job. And you know, at least I know about 10 people who've lost weight based on her program.
Oh wow,
you know, which is very good. You know, it's not about any stringent thing. It's not about like not eating or stuff. She makes you do the regular stuff that everyone does, and you still see the results. Wow. Okay, so back to the program, brother. Welcome again.
Of course.
Okay, so we're talking about the African perspective, and first off, it looks like let's start with Worcester, and maybe we're gonna be all over the place. We touch on like you know those like little things all over. So Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. That one.
4 years ago, Black Lives Matter. Nobody wanted to talk about Black Lives Matter. In the Democratic Convention, they were steering clear from that issue.
Yep.
Now it is all the rage.
Yep.
What do you think about the movement?
Well, as an African looking at Black Lives Matter, I would say that, like you rightly said, 4 years ago, it was something, but it was nothing because nobody wants to be part of it.
I know.
But nobody right now, openly be part of it. Yeah. So I think the participation of Africans now with the Black Lives Matter, I say it's quite evident with the incident of George Floyd, and I think that's actually more or less like a reawakening for the Africans in America to also be part of this movement. I guess we've come to the realization that we can now shy away from the problem that exists in this country, and I think that's one of the reasons why, since as long as people begin to identify with black, and they've taken upon themselves the responsibility of taking part in such movement. So that's why I think that people are more involved in that movement. Now, what do I think about the movement? I think that is a very powerful movement. Like we did the other day, we were part of the protesters, and we did what we could, representing our community. So I think it's a powerful movement, actually, and I think it is going to make a lot of change. Will that change affect Africans in diaspora? I don't know.
Well, we live to see. But I see that slowly Africans, the diaspora, we are getting into into their culture. We are getting into their thinking now. I think they will consider us a lot. Let's hope and see that something good comes out of it.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, we keep our fingers crossed, because sometimes there's this tension between Africans and African Americans.
Yes.
Some look at us differently.
Actually, if I may speak a little bit with that, I think that in the years past, I would think about less than 10 years ago, right? African Americans don't see themselves as Africans. They don't, and with the fact that they don't see themselves as an African, I think that every time they encounter an African in diaspora, they look at us like those who have come to this country to take away from them.
Oh, okay. So
they don't identify as Africans compared to now. Now they recognize the relationship between Africans in diaspora and African American. Now some of them have now realized that you can run away for just a period of time. You're still an African.
You run away until you meet the whites.
You see what I'm saying?
They will let you know.
They will remind you.
They'll remind you.
Actually, we are constantly reminded.
No, they are constantly reminded, African Americans.
Yes, well, they are constantly reminded before you and I got here.
Okay.
But the moment we also joined them, we became a part of them.
Okay.
And we didn't struggle becoming a part of them. We accepted being a part of them because we know better.
We know, hey, you know what? You look like my uncle.
You see what I'm saying?
What do you mean that you're different? Like, I'm an immigrant. You call me an immigrant?
Yep. So we don't struggle to accept what we stand for and where we belong.
Yeah.
We don't struggle with that. So they are the ones struggling. That's why when you see an African who is migrating to United States, right? We just come and we blend in.
And we start working. And we start making money.
You see what I'm saying?
Without even thinking about anything.
Yep. And I think, it's great that you mentioned working, because that's one of the reasons why African Americans don't really like us in the beginning.
Oh, you think? Oh, wait.
They think that the jobs that they have are probably struggling to get into.
Yeah.
We just come
We
in less
accept
than 6 months. We already taken the job. We started making money.
No, but they were here before us.
Well, see,
They have no immigration problem. They have no accent problem.
So that's one of the struggle, right? So even despite the fact that they've been here before, well, I think that's a broader conversation. Trust me, if we start that conversation right now, we might even end it, because I believe there are several factors that have resulted into them not being able to, made something out of life for themselves even before we got here. But of course, like I said, that's a different conversation entirely.
Wow. This my brother OMO here. We're talking about, this is Spotlight on Africa. Talking about African issues concerning the black race, issues concerning us as immigrants in the United States and immigrants in Worcester, and how we can culturally assimilate into the cultural fabric of the United States. So let's look at Worcester. What role do you think that Africans can play in the city of Worcester?
So I guess I would say that the role that Africans can play with the population of Africans in Worcester, we can play a very, very significant role in actually changing the situations in Worcester.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? So one of the ways that we can change the things that are going on in Worcester is by ensuring that we have representatives.
Okay.
We have people that are sitting on the same table where our issues are being discussed.
Our lives
are being discussed.
Our
That was one of the
destinies.
reasons that when you contacted me when you were running, I said, whatever you need me to do, let me know. I will do it. Because I know that in order for somebody to discuss about my life, I need somebody on that table speaking for me.
Understands you.
You understand what I'm saying? So so those are the things that I think Africans in Worcester can actually do to change things. Now, secondly, in order for Africans to actually be one of the powerful community in Worcester is when Africans actually support Africans.
Okay.
You know, just like the reference I just made. If you say you're running for an office, Africans are behind you. I'm not going to say because I know Mr. Kenny, because Mr. Kenny is my co-worker and he's a white guy, I'm going to support Mr. Kenny. At the end of the day, Mr. Kenny is going to be answerable to his community.
Yeah.
Now, for you, you're going to be forced to be answerable to your community as well.
Is it too rich?
You see what I'm saying?
It's like, I know this guy. I've seen him at a party before.
Okay, think about it. We're here right now. So if anything should come up, all right, I can.
You can pick a call.
Boldly, you see what I'm like? I can boldly say, I know this guy. We're talking about this guy. Okay, I just pick my call and I give you a call.
Yeah,
and that's what white people do. That's what they do.
Which is very true.
That's what they do.
That's what the Jews also do.
You see, that's what they do. If a black person was to be involved in an accident, okay, specifically an African person, you don't know who to call. You pick up your phone. The least you could do is either call your insurance company.
Yeah.
Possibly you call the police. And when you call the police, even if you're not at fault, you're not guaranteed that the report is not going to be written against you. But if a young white kid was to be involved in an accident, he, as little as he may be, he knows who to call. Two people. He can pick his phone and call his father, who knows
the police officer,
the police officer,
chief,
the police chief, the district attorney. He knows who to call, and when they make that call across, guess what happens? Hi, how you doing, Jackie? My son just got in an accident, and he's been asked to present an ID. Is that really necessary? I need my boy back home in about 1 hour. Guess what happens to that boy? He's coming home in an hour.
They'll drive him home.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, and that is not applicable to Africans. It's not. And these are things that the police, the white folks, they know. They know the limitation that we have. I'm not generalizing that all Africans don't really know this, but most of us do not, because where we're coming from, we're not being taught to know these things.
It's like this is a completely different system, system for us.
It is
that we don't know.
It is,
and no one is gonna babysit you because you don't know.
Nope.
Okay, it's so sad because I'm in law school, and we have this. Not even in law school, but outside, people normally say, "Oh, if you want a lawyer for immigration, go to the Jewish lawyers, because they think they know so much."
Yeah, I don't know why.
But you are in class with them, and you look at them like they are nobody. Like, I'm not saying nobody, but like they are people that you can beat in class.
Yep.
They are not any special, but I kind of sat down at some point like, why is it that these guys have the good reputation of being good like counselors?
Yeah.
And I found out that this is what happens. Those guys were so strategic to the point that they've put their people in strategic positions.
Yep.
In the judgeship, in the superior court, in the circuit court, in all the local municipalities.
Yeah.
So if a Jewish lawyer goes before a Jewish judge, the chance of him
winning the case is
it's easy
like that.
So if an African lawyer goes in front of an African judge, because most likely I've met you like at Auntie Adiza's party before. You probably go to the same church.
But guess what? I can actually argue that if a Jewish judge, okay, is presiding on a case presented by an attorney, right? And an attorney who is also Jewish, he might stand a better chance of winning that case. But that might not be the case with Africans. You see, we Africans, we have, I'm going to keep the name that I call Africans, but I would say we have issues.
Okay.
With ourselves.
Okay.
You see, we
So you think we hate ourselves?
I wouldn't use the word hate.
Or we don't promote each other?
I will use the word we don't promote each other. I would choose that word.
We are disinterested in supporting each other.
Supporting each other with the threat that if I support you, there's a likelihood that you might get ahead of me.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a likelihood that you might get ahead of me, and then with that
Now
mindset,
we are going into uncharted territory.
I mean,
no,
that's what I'm saying, there's so
you can
much.
go ahead. No, but I'm saying, like, in general, the likelihood that you're going to meet someone, let's say I'm a lawyer, I go before Judge Azikwe, and it's about, let's say, a paternity issue or something like that, or my landlord. There's a good chance that I've seen you before.
Yeah,
You see, when you saw the cameraman,
that
you
would be the expectation, though.
well, hopefully, I think in general, you will get a little leverage, because most of the time, like the judge will be like, "Hey, counsel, can you proceed forward?" And for a side chat, and they'll be like, "Hey,
That can be granted,
yeah,
and it can be denied.
yeah." But I'm saying, like, if we do that, the possibility or the probability that we can get not some favoritism, but we can also get some leeway should be higher. You know, that's what the Jewish people have been doing all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and those guys have strategized so much. Now the 9 Supreme Court justices, 3 of them are Jews. Jews make up 1.6% of the U.S. population. So how can 1.6% of population be 30% of the highest office in the land?
Absolutely.
You know,
the thing about it is this, right? Understanding how the chain of hierarchy actually works.
Yeah.
If I am in a position, if you're a judge, I'm an attorney, right?
Yeah.
And I know definitely that you and I, we've had some kind of relationship in the past, right? I will always ensure that whatever case that I have goes through you so that you can review and then favor me in return. Now, I'm not going to, because of that, take you for granted. I will still respect you due to your position, and you respect me with my position. But one thing with Africans is this, right? If an African comes in contact with somebody who is above them, guess what they say? What is wrong with him? Or because he's a judge? Every time I greet him, we just say hi. Or what, because I work in a nursing home and he's a judge? Or because I'm a nurse and I'm not a doctor? Or because I'm this, I'm that? So, because of that mindset, there's this rivalry.
Okay, so what do you think is wrong with us? No, is something wrong?
A lot is wrong.
No, why do we behave like that?
A lot is wrong. Here is what is wrong, right? If you go back to the foundation of Africans or Africa, all right, there's this deprivation of knowledge. So deprivation of knowledge in the sense that some people have access to certain level of knowledge and some people do not. For example, if I live in a village, regardless of the kind of whether or not I'm in school, I'm I'm already deprived of certain level of education.
Okay.
You understand? Somebody who live in a city, you have access to certain level of education, either with school or in your community or around you. All right. So you can pick those knowledge along the line. Now, if somebody in the village comes to America, without being exposed to the city life,
so like there's no smooth transition.
You understand?
Yeah.
So such a person comes to America. Those are the people you will see on the road when they drive. Like, oh my goodness, how did you even try to come here?
Yeah.
Now, you as a city person, you have some level of understanding
So
how
you go slowly, gently.
you. Now imagine having an interaction with such a person. You're gonna have to then come down to that person's level so that they can understand what you're saying, so that you guys can dialogue.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? Now, that happens in every race.
Okay.
But the difference between that and here is, and that's one of the reasons why I love America, it doesn't really matter if you like. Let your father be the president of this country. You can be a mechanic down the street. We chat on the same level without,
because you don't feel me.
you see what I'm saying? Like,
I don't depend on you.
even if I live in a village, if I live in one village in Texas and you live in Washington DC, who cares? The only difference there is I will be speaking in a Texan accent.
Yeah.
That's it. But based on your profession and my profession, trust me, nothing changes. But guess what? Bring the same situation back to Africa. before we start that conversation,
Yeah.
you will already have put me in my place. Right away.
We have terms for that. In Ghana, they call it like crossing, like a villager.
You see what I'm saying? You
So it's
already
like-
have put me in my place.
You know, or like, and the thing is, they'll be like, you can't even speak English. Now, your fellow Africans will use your inability to speak a foreign language
against you.
against you.
So that's why we do have a problem. But I guess what I'm looking at is, I think the leverage that we have now is some of us that are here. You hear what I'm saying? Some of us that are here, we've seen things, how things are done here. So we easily can adapt quickly. But we still have some in our community that still do the same thing. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Africans, it looks like we are hitting on some topic, and pretty much every African society, being Nigerian, Kenyan, Cameroonian, South African, we all feel the same thing. One friend of mine was telling me that poverty is the root of all evil. You know, it wasn't the love of money, it was poverty, the lack of money. It looks like we don't have a lot. So the few, we have to fight for it, and that breeds like bitterness, backbiting, you know, trying to step on each other, that tribalism like attitude.
Yeah, I think we didn't just get there in one day.
So don't you think it started from where we came from?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it started
there.
because like we look down on
it
people who are
started
not in
there.
the same social class.
Absolutely, it started there, and we're not gonna get out of it overnight. But we have to take conscious effort to get out of it.
Yep.
It's an intentional effort to get out of it. Now, if we don't take an intentional, if we don't make an intentional effort to get out of it, then we're gonna stay there forever. Because it's not easy. It's like an habit.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to take an intentional step to actually beat an habit. If I'm a drug addict, I have to take an intentional step to get out of it.
Yeah.
If I don't, I may have to live like that for the rest of my life.
Wow. Hey, so what role do you think Africans in the diaspora can play back home to help our people? Almost every one of us do send money. A lot of our monies go down.
Yeah.
We building mansions that we don't live in. It becomes they call it funeral homes, because you will die, they send your body there, and your brother or your uncle.
Yeah.
So like, even though we are here, we are still tied over there. They see something, they have a different perspective of how we live here.
Yeah.
I don't know whether just for the 1 month that we go there, we buy no clothes, stuff we don't wear here, we take it there.
Then we
and
show up.
yeah, so it's like for that 1 month we spend about $10,000.
Yeah.
They think we spend that much money here. So it's like, what role do you think we can help these guys first understand it, and secondly, be like, you know what, you guys have to appreciate what you got. You know, a friend of mine was telling me this afternoon that we have some food we call like it's a pounded cocoyam, and we add like palm nut oil on it. It's not fufu, but it's a pounded thing.
Oh yeah.
So he bought a cocoyam, and when he did it, it became fufu. You know, and he put it there for like I think the next day it had turned color.
Oh wow.
You know, and he says it doesn't taste the same as African food. So when you are in Africa, you don't appreciate those foods.
No.
But when you come here, you see that you put food in the fridge, and by the next day, the tomato has like it's spitting like water like crazy.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for those guys back home?
Well, see, your question about what can the Africans in diaspora do to help those back home to understand the life that we live here, if I'm right, if I get you correct.
Especially with social media now, we flaunt it a lot.
So, honestly, you cannot. You can't.
You
Now,
can't change
You cannot.
their mindset.
You cannot. Think about it.
What caused that?
Okay, so you just said it. Social media. Social media is one. And secondly, if you are not on social media, they are on social media. If they don't see you, they see other people. So, okay, let me give you a very good extent. If you have a brother in the United States and you live in Ghana, and you don't post anything on Facebook, as a matter of fact, you're not even on social media, but they are on social media. Probably you have friends on social media that they see. Probably a friend that has been in the United States longer than you have been, and they see how they post stuff on social media. So they will use them
To compare you.
Absolutely. After all, he's been there before you. He's been there 10 years. You've been there 5 years. So if he's living this large, if you're not living this large, then you're close by. All right? Now they're going to call you for money. Now, it's not even when they call you for money. It's whether or not they appreciate the little that you're giving. You see what I'm saying? It's whether or not they appreciate the little that you're given. And the problem there is this. For as long as you continue to go with the mindset of, I want to satisfy everybody back home, you're closer to your grave.
They will never appreciate it.
No. See, those are things. There are certain things that you can change. Now, how people back home perceive those that are living here, you can't change that. Try. You cannot. That is one. Secondly, you wanting to change how people view what you're giving to them, so that they will be more appreciative of what you're giving.
Yeah.
You can't change that. You can only change how much money you're giving and when you give it.
Yeah.
But you can't change how they view what you're giving, and including how they spend it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They will always have. I'm not going to generalize. I'm not going to say all of them, but majority of those people who you send money to won't appreciate it, and you can't spend the rest of your life trying to make them do that. So, here is what I say. Somebody calls you for money. You don't have it. I don't have it yet. When I do, I will let you know. Are they going to be happy? No. But are you going to get stuck with the fact that they're not happy and not move on with your life? If you do that, then you must be crazy.
You'll be in big trouble.
Of course. Except if you're living alone.
Yeah, even with that, you have your bills piling up, and you're taking care of people back home.
That's what I'm saying.
You will never appreciate it.
If you...
And God forbid if something happens to you and you get deported.
Oh, goodness. The same people would drag you in the mud.
You know,
okay.
most people who get deported, they die within 2-3 years.
Of course. Now, the same people you're sending money to, like, have you seen your brother? After 20 years.
After 20 years.
He went to America 20 years, he came back with nothing. The other day I saw him along here, he was walking. Not even a car. He couldn't even pay for Okada. And this is the same guy that you were sending 30,000, 40,000.
He was building your house and misusing the money. You never even talk about that's my sister. You know, I don't care.
These same people. And if I may also speak on building houses, you know, it's the expectation of everybody back home is everyone who travels out of the country
should build a house.
Should build a house back home to come to. Now, here's what I say. Build a house. Build a house. I'm not saying build houses. Build a house. Should you build a mansion? It's stupid.
But most of us have like luxurious houses.
Why do you need a mansion in Africa?
Well, because they never lived in a mansion before, and now they have the chance.
But you're never gonna live there.
Well, most of us, we have money there that we can live, and our relatives are living in there.
See, that's the
and
thing.
every month we pay light bill.
You see, and the people that are living there. Okay, let me share something. I know somebody, all right, who built a house back home, and he put the house in charge of his older brother. You know, take care of it, get the rent, send me my portion to my account.
The best opportunity one can give a brother.
That's
you,
like
you
the
never
best
pay,
thing.
you never pay, because we pay like mortgage, we pay rent here, and that's the biggest expense we have in a month.
If you have a brother, you say, my brother, take care of this house, get the rent, take so amount, keep so amount in my account. What else do you want from a brother? And guess what happens? This brother collects all the rent and in his own pocket. And then when the person who builds the house called and say, bro, I haven't received any alert of payment. He said that if it is your father that born you, come back to village, come and collect it.
Wow.
Yeah, if your papa, if it is your father, they gave birth to you, come back home, come and collect the money. Oh, okay. So are you going home for such to go and meet such a guy?
No, it's even dangerous. If you have to have the boss to tell you that.
So I'm not saying every cases will be like that. I'm saying
but most cases.
That's one.
You know, there are so many stories about that.
That's one. You know. That's one. So here's what I say. You want a house back home. Actually, I will advise that every African in America should have a house back home. Okay? But you don't need a mansion. But the house that you're building that house so that when you visit,
Yeah.
You have a place to stay.
Vacation home.
Yeah, vacation home. Is it okay for a family member to stay there in the interim? Yes. Somebody, if you don't stay in a house, there's this.
It's something
smell,
that
yeah.
It starts
You are
rotting apart.
You see what I'm saying? Somebody has to live in the house. So, is it okay to put somebody in there? Yes. If you want to rent, is it okay to also rent it? Yes. But when you begin to build 2-3 houses and you're building mansion that has like 10 rooms,
Yep.
what is wrong with you?
No, but did you know one funny thing? Most of our kids here will never follow us back to Africa.
They are not going
So
to
in point of
with
fact,
you.
who are we building the house for?
Now,
We're
see,
building it for relatives
not even
who
for,
will never like you.
no, not even for relatives. Actually, I think we're trying to fulfill all expectation. And fulfilling all expectation is when you're in America, you should have a house back in Africa, so that people, when they see it, like, oh, he's in America, he has a house here. Okay. The first time I went back home, the first thing a friend of mine asked me was, "Where's your car?" I'm like, "Oh no, I didn't drive. I took a taxi." He was like, "Oh, really?"
And now he starts looking at you funny.
You see what I'm saying? So the expectation is, once you come here, it doesn't matter how long you've been here. Once you get to America, you should be plugging money. You should be plugging. If you're not plugging money, it's either your limbs are being cut off. You don't have hands to plug the money, because there's money on every tree. This tree now has money. You don't know it. So that's the expectation. So, and you cannot operate lesser than that expectation. Any attempt to operate lesser than that expectation is to amount to frustration.
Sometimes your mom will even call you like, I think you were a fool. I think I gave birth to a goat.
You see what I'm
And
saying?
if you are married, they'll come after your wife.
I don't blame your mom, because it's being pressured.
It's probably the wife that is not making him send money, not making him go to the house.
You see?
You know,
Absolutely.
so we come here with a baggage,
A lot of baggage, actually.
and it's so difficult to untangle yourself from that.
It's difficult. It will take years for you to untangle yourself with such baggage.
Wow, folks, this is All Power TV. Today we talk. This is Spotlight on Africa. This is my Nigerian brother, and we're talking about the common issues that we normally face as Africans in the diaspora. Let's talk about this religion in Africa.
Okay.
I know Ghana, Niger, we got all these similar things.
Yep, we do.
You know, so it's like, do you think religion is the problem of Africa?
Yes. Not the problem of Africa. One of the problems.
One of the problems. Okay,
in
is it a
Africa.
major problem in Africa?
I wouldn't say it is a major problem. I would say it can be categorized as one of the major problems.
Wait. Okay, do you think Christian religion
Is the problem?
is the best for Africa? Because when the whites came, we had traditional religion.
We do.
And now they brought in a new one. And
Yes.
now we don't even want to look at those, our religion. Everything culturally is now deemed as like, tradition, like something
It's
like
witchcraft.
that. What do you think about that?
Now, so when you're talking about religion, is a very sensitive topic. You see, there are some people that, even though they're Christians, you can actually categorize them as non-Christians.
So which means on the surface,
On this-
they are labeled Christian or
Yes.
religious.
Yes.
But nothing about them.
There is nothing about them that is Christian-like. I mean, when I say nothing, I mean absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing in math means zero.
So Christian on
Nothing.
paper.
Thank you.
When they fill in their forms, passport forms or something like that.
Yes. Now, see, there's a lot of conflict between Christianity and non-Christians. I have seen a lot of people who don't go to church. You can categorize them as Christians, but they've never been in church. But guess what? They are better individuals
Yeah.
than somebody who dies in the church. When I mean somebody dies in the church, I mean Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So wait, do you think we got it wrong? The concept of Christianity. Do you think maybe we didn't understand what the wise taught us?
Well, so it is not that we don't understand what the white people taught us regarding to religion. We did.
Then why are we misapplying them?
Well,
Because most of the wise that we see here, they hardly go to church.
They don't.
Most don't go to church. But,
Most people
okay,
don't.
they don't. But they live peaceful, quiet lives, and their lives like, wow, these guys are
Do you
honest.
know? Do you know
But
why?
we who sing hallelujah, like, you know, when you are bathing, you sing in for the
yeah,
Holy Ghost.
you sing for the Holy Ghost,
and when you
everyone
are
shake.
and when you are walking to school, you sing. Like when you were alone by yourself, you,
Yeah.
you just want to sing for everyone to know that there's some.
There's a Christian
you know,
passing by. Let the Holy Spirit begin to move now. Let me tell you, my brother, this is the problem. A white person, okay, that has nothing, that don't have. I'm not talking about homeless people. I'm saying somebody who's not categorized as rich, okay, has a certain amount of money set aside for to give away. To give away to either homeless people,
Yeah.
charity organizations, and stuff like that. Okay, it is part of their life to give. What did the Bible say about giving?
give and to come back to you.
Does that
It's
have
more
anything
blessed.
to, thank you. Does that have anything to do with whether or not you're a Christian?
No, because most
Because
people
the law,
you see, like how most Muslims, they give a lot of alms,
yes,
but we don't.
the law of giving is what you just stated. When you give, it comes back to you. It has nothing to do. See, the law of God has nothing to do with, even though it's written in the Bible, but the law of God has nothing to do with you being a Christian.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with. See, I told people a lot of times. I say that Christianity is a religion, okay? But two things you as an individual must have. One, are you a bad person? Two, are you a good person? Now, religion comes in to make you a better person.
Oh, okay.
Now, so if you're a good person,
Religion makes you better.
it makes you better. If you're a bad person, religion changes you to become good, and then you're on the path to progressively get to a better place.
Okay.
Now, if that is not your, if that isn't your story, then you're lost.
No, but what about those who use Christianity to commit crime in the name of God? The white supremacists, KKK.
Yeah.
They read the Bible.
Yeah.
But they commit crimes.
Yes.
And I believe Hitler at some point he was holding a Bible too.
Yep. Just like
So-
our current guy just did. Let's just move on.
Okay, but no, but look at this way. Why is it that we worship God so much? We go to all night.
We don't
You know,
understand
we
it.
go to Bible studies. We go to youth service. We go to men's fellowship. We go to women's fellowship. We go to adult fellowship. We
Yep.
go to choir practice. We go to almost like every Friday. Some churches do all night.
Yep.
The whites don't do it.
Yep. They don't, and they do better.
No. What is it about them or about us that is not working?
We pray amiss. We worship amiss. We do everything the Bible asks us to do amiss. We do things without understanding what we're doing. I mean, think about it. A pastor comes and says, kiss my shoe, and you receive miracle. And you call yourself a Christian. You kiss somebody else's shoe with the hope to receive miracle. A pastor says, go and eat the grass. The grass is meant for goats. But a pastor says, go and eat the grass and receive your miracle.
But looking at this, don't you think it's religion when people look at something like a cult? Because trust me, if Donald Trump tells people to eat grass, I bet you some people are going to eat it.
Yes.
Because look at what he's done, and they still follow him.
A guy yesterday, I was watching a show yesterday, and the guy says that if Jesus, this is how he says it. He said it. He said, if Jesus comes and says one thing, he will tell Jesus to hold on. Let him go and ask Mr. President.
No,
That's how much trust.
I don't challenge what you said. I somewhat believe it, because like, so don't you think it's religion that makes people look at people that way? You know, because now it's like a cult leader. And I bet you, if Jesus comes right now and tells you don't listen to it, people will still believe him and they'll kick Jesus out.
Yes. See that you cannot rule that option out. See, regardless of who the president is, there are still going to be people that would still disbelieve whatever God or Jesus has to say. That will always be there. But if I may also answer your question in regards to how Africans respond to Christianity.
Yeah.
We as Africans, we've lost hope a long time ago.
Okay.
See, when people, hope is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Hope is powerful. Hope is something that when you give it to someone, even when they are dying, but you are able to give them that hope that, listen, you may be dying right now, but I can assure you, at the end of this tunnel, there's a brighter light. That person holds on to that hope. Even if they're dying, they hold on to that hope, and then with the power of that hope that they're holding on to, they might actually survive whatever predicament they might be going through.
Yeah.
Now, what we've lost in Africa, I'm not going to say Nigeria or Ghana, in Africa,
it's the same everywhere.
What we've lost in Africa is hope. There's no hope anymore. Now, if you call a little boy in Africa right now and say, what would you like to become when you grow up? You will rarely see someone say, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be an engineer. You can get that from those that are doing well, those whose parents have money.
Whose parents, you know.
But those whose money only sell pepper on the roadside, they just want to be rich. The road to being successful is what they don't want to deal with. What is the point? There's another boy down the street who didn't go to school. He has 3 cars. How was that possible? So they've lost the hope of going through the due process.
Don't you think our pastors are somehow partly to blame?
Yes.
Because they promise you miracles.
Yes.
Everything can happen through miracles.
Yes. Because our people are lazy to read their own Bible.
When they are doing testimony time, Pastor prayed for me and this happened. Pastor prayed. So you hardly hear people say, Pastor prayed for me and I started doing my business.
No.
I went to work on time.
Pastor prayed for me so that by the time I wake up tomorrow, somebody will drop a bag full of money in front of my house.
In my bank account.
Or in my bank account. Somebody will mistakenly, miraculously,
I had a
just
number
paid $1 million
dream.
in my bank account. See, let me tell you
So
something.
is it some false hope that the pastors give us when they emphasize more on miracles?
Pastors are only selling what people
want to hear.
They're selling what people are buying.
Okay.
You see, now we have a lot of pastors. Here's what I say. And I don't even believe I'm going to say this. The government should begin to regulate pastors.
I was going to come to it. Okay, you go.
They should begin to regulate.
You think churches should be regulated?
They should be
and possibly taxed?
Yes. Churches should be regulated. Here's why I say churches. Like I said.
Okay. So Paul Kagame is doing that in Rwanda.
Yes.
So do you believe in freedom of religion?
Okay, let me say this. I believe in freedom of religion.
Yeah.
You can worship whatever it is that works for you. At the end of the day, you're going to end up in one place. You're serving God. You're either serving God or you're serving Satan.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 options that are available. So whichever one that you choose, go for it. As long as you're not slaughtering people, you're not killing people here and there, you're a good person. Do what you want. But what I am saying with Christianity in Nigeria is this. See, our people, they've lost it. And the pastors know that. And here's why I said that the pastor should be the pastor should be regulated is this. Somebody who has tried everything in life. I mean everything. Nothing has worked. Why are you trying everything? Because you want to be rich. And you've tried everything that you can. It's not working. And then here you see people who are looking for that Messiah. They're looking for that miracle to be rich tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you just show up, understanding what the people want. It's like if I understand that you like shoes, okay? And I know how to make shoes. What else do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy leathers and I'll begin to make shoe that you can wear. I will look for one day you will dress up. If I make black with this outfit, you will go. I'll go and make black. I'll cut it nicely. I'll present it to you. And if you like shoe, you will buy it. It's as simple as that. People want miracle and you get, some of them will go and pay some crippled guy on the streets, come and pretend like you're suffering. I will deliver you. And only one miracle is all people need to see.
Yeah.
Once one miracle, you have thousands of followers. And guess what happened from those thousands of followers? Tithe and offering. When you pay those tithe and offering, it goes straight into the church account. The next thing you see, pastor is driving Ferrari, pastor is driving Bentley, and then you see church members after service, they are walking home. Some of them, they don't have a job, but the pastor tells them to go and withdraw. Listen, my brother, I'm speaking from experience. What I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. I am speaking from experience. I have seen things happen. I have met some pastors ask me for certain things that I'm like, you should be supporting me. You should be able to, if you lead me, tell me what I need to do, which includes working hard or business ideas that are, investment or things like that. There's no pastor that will sit you down and talk to you about investment.
They don't even know themselves, because most of them. Okay, so to some extent, I support your claim that churches should be regulated.
It should be,
because
that would bring reduction to the population of pastors in Africa.
You think that will help, right?
Because a lot of them are even ignorant. A lot of them are not even educated. Go and check. A lot of them.
But when God calls you, it's not about education.
I understand that,
but you think it helps.
Let me tell you something. When you are educated, it helps your research. I mean, come on. If you're picking up the Bible and reading the Bible, there are some Bible that when you read, even you as an educated human, you don't understand what you're reading.
Yeah.
It takes some kind of divine divine insight
to understand
the words of the Lord. So when you understand it, your education that you have helps you to read it. Then it helps you to do more research. I mean, you can just basically just read the Bible and you have to do a lot of research.
Let's talk about this. It's Corona season. People are talking about, this is a two-part question. People are talking about, is God there? These pastors who claim to be miracle workers.
Yeah, they're nowhere to be found.
Where are they now?
No, they can't show up. This is not the kind of miracle they're looking for.
Pastors are also looking for tithes, even during this time. What do you think about that?
So I was watching this guy, I've forgotten his name, this white pastor. He's a televangelist, that's what they call him. He said even though the coronavirus is out there, that you should still send your tithe. He actually threatened. He said if you don't send in your tithe, this and that will happen. Here's what I think. There are churches that need your tithe to function.
Okay.
The cost of maintaining a church is never going to change, with or without coronavirus.
Okay.
So the church still needs money.
Yeah.
Now, there are several approaches you can take. One is the member of the church understanding that the church must run, and in order for that to happen, tithe must come in, which includes you paying the mortgage for the church, general maintenance of the church. So if that is the case, yeah, of course, I support that you continue to pay your tithe.
Okay.
Continue to pay your offering. You know the church that you go, like my church. I know the capacity of my church financially. I know the church definitely needs the tithe and offering to pay mortgage, to do all of these things. Okay? But if you have a mega church, where you actually don't pay, because some of these mega churches, like this that I'm talking about, I'm sure they're not paying mortgage.
Okay, but they still pay workers.
That's what I'm saying. So they pay workers. Who are the workers? Church members. Okay, so if there's coronavirus and the church is closed, where are you going to do the work?
Well, they still have to eat, so their families, they still have to pay them.
Let me tell you something. It is the time like this that the church should give back what the people have given to the church.
Okay.
So when I'm saying in times like this, there are people who, due to this coronavirus, have lost their job. They've lost so many things. So this is the time that the church need to bring those people and then discuss how to help such people. Not threaten them that if this guy, I'm talking about somebody who actually was threatening.
I think I'm trying to remember the name.
He was threatening. He said, if you don't pay your tithe, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. I'm like, wow, really? This tithe?
And people are gonna.
People will respond,
and they will be like, "Oh my goodness!"
People will respond. People would definitely respond. See, some people look at their pastor as their God, the God they can see.
Okay, this OPower TV. Let's talk about ourselves again. Okay.